Frank Sinatra, the legendary singer and actor of Hollywood's golden era, was not just known for his velvet voice and captivating screen presence. He was also infamous for his deep-rooted gambling addiction. Sinatra had a love for high-stakes games, frequently visiting Las Vegas casinos, where he was treated like royalty. The Rat Pack leader had strong connections with casino owners and even reputed mob figures, often receiving unlimited credit lines to fuel his passion for gambling. Despite his wealth, Sinatra's betting habits sometimes landed him in trouble. He would wager enormous sums on poker, blackjack, and craps, often going on wild winning streaks, only to lose it all in the next round. His temper was as legendary as his luck. One infamous incident saw him smashing a casino telephone after a bad loss, leading to his temporary ban from the Sands Hotel. However, his charm and status always ensured that doors reopened for him. While gambling was an exhilarating escape for Sinatra, it also became a source of financial strain at times. Yet, his addiction never overshadowed his success, as he continued to dominate the entertainment industry, proving that, win or lose, he would always be the chairman of the board. Errol Flynn, the dashing Hollywood icon of the golden era, was known for his larger-than-life persona, both on and off the screen. Famous for his roles in the adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood, Flynn lived as recklessly as the characters he portrayed. His love for gambling was just another extension of his thrill-seeking lifestyle. Whether it was high-stakes poker, betting on horse races, or rolling dice in smoky backroom casinos, Flynn thrived on the rush of risking it all. Despite earning a fortune from his films, Flynn's gambling habits often left him in financial distress. He would lose thousands of dollars in a single night, but that never stopped him from coming back for more. His reckless spending and constant gambling made him a favorite target for casino owners and bookies, who knew he couldn't resist a bet. Even as his career declined, Flynn continued his extravagant habits, often borrowing money to fund his addiction. By the end of his life, Flynn was financially ruined, his wealth squandered on gambling, alcohol, and lavish living. Yet, in true Errol Flynn fashion, he never regretted a single bet. To him, life itself was the greatest gamble of all. Marlene Dietrich, the enchanting German-American actress and singer, was not only a screen siren of the golden era, but also a fearless gambler who thrived on the adrenaline of high-stakes betting. Known for her impeccable style and mysterious allure, Dietrich carried herself with an air of sophistication, even when she was deep in the throes of her gambling addiction. Unlike many of her Hollywood peers who indulged in reckless wagers, Dietrich approached gambling with strategy and precision, making poker and baccarat her games of choice. Her love for gambling was an open secret among Hollywood elites. She frequented exclusive casinos in Las Vegas and Monte Carlo, often sitting at the high roller tables for hours. While she had a keen intellect and an almost mathematical approach to betting, her addiction sometimes led to massive losses. However, Dietrich's impeccable financial management skills allowed her to maintain a lavish lifestyle despite her risky habits. Unlike other celebrities who gambled their fortunes away, Dietrich never let her losses define her. Even in her later years, she remained a respected icon, proving that while gambling may have been a thrilling escape, her true legacy lay in her unmatched talent and timeless elegance. Humphrey Bogart, the legendary star of Casablanca and the Maltese Falcon, was the epitome of cool on screen, but behind the scenes, he had a well-known weakness for gambling. Unlike the reckless, high-stakes wagers of some of his peers, Bogart approached gambling with a mix of passion and calculation, often immersing himself in poker games for hours. He was a regular at Hollywood's underground poker circles, where he played with fellow actors, directors, and high-rolling gamblers. Bogart's love for poker wasn't just a pastime, it was an obsession. He was known to stay up all night in smoky backrooms, sipping whiskey and placing bets that could make or break fortunes. His wife, actress Lauren Bacall, often worried about his late-night gambling sessions, as they sometimes resulted in hefty losses. However, Bogart never let his gambling addiction spiral completely out of control. He was disciplined enough to walk away when things got too risky, unlike many of his contemporaries. Despite his love for the game, Bogart remained financially stable throughout his career. To him, gambling wasn't about the money. It was about the thrill, the strategy, and the camaraderie. In many ways, poker mirrored the roles he played on screen: tough, unpredictable, and always full of suspense. Lana Turner, the dazzling blonde bombshell of Hollywood's golden era, was no stranger to taking risks, both in her personal life and at the gambling tables. Known for her stunning beauty and dramatic love affairs, Turner had an intense addiction to high-stakes gambling that often mirrored the turbulence of her off-screen life. Whether it was poker, roulette, or betting on horse races, she was always drawn to the thrill of winning big. Turner's gambling addiction became a serious financial problem as she often found herself in deep losses. Despite earning a fortune from films like The Postman Always Rings Twice, she would frequently squander her money at casinos in Las Vegas and Monte Carlo. Her compulsive gambling was fueled by her need for excitement and distraction from her troubled relationships, including her infamous involvement with mobster Johnny Stompanato. At times, her losses were so severe that she had to accept film roles she otherwise wouldn't have, just to pay off her debts. Despite this, Turner remained one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars, proving that even when the odds were against her, she never stopped playing the game, both in life and at the casino. George Raft, the tough guy actor famous for his gangster roles in Scarface and They Drive by Night, didn't just play criminals on screen. He lived life on the edge in reality too. A known high roller, Raft had a deep-seated gambling addiction that followed him throughout his Hollywood career. Unlike some of his peers who gambled for fun, Raft took it seriously, frequenting Las Vegas and Havana casinos, often playing with and owing money to dangerous mobsters. Despite being one of the highest-paid actors of his time, Raft's addiction to high-stakes gambling drained his wealth. He was particularly obsessed with roulette and craps, betting massive sums that often left him in financial ruin. His close friendships with real-life gangsters, including Bugsy Siegel and Meyer Lansky, made his gambling habits even riskier. At times, he was given credit at casinos, but when the debts piled up, it put him in dangerous situations. By the later years of his life, Raft found himself nearly broke, struggling to maintain the luxurious lifestyle he once enjoyed. His gambling addiction had cost him millions, proving that no matter how many times the dice were rolled, the house always wins in the end. Mickey Rooney, the beloved child star who became one of Hollywood's most enduring actors, had a life filled with fame, fortune, and a devastating gambling addiction. Despite earning millions throughout his career, Rooney could never resist the lure of high-stakes betting, often risking everything at the racetrack, casinos, and poker tables. His addiction wasn't just a habit, it was an obsession that followed him for decades. Rooney's favorite vice was horse racing. He spent countless hours at the track, placing enormous bets that frequently wiped out his bank account. Even as his fame grew, so did his gambling debts. Despite starring in hit films like National Velvet and Babes in Arms, he found himself constantly in financial trouble, borrowing money to cover his losses. His addiction strained his marriages and friendships, as he often prioritized gambling over personal relationships. By the later years of his life, Rooney had lost much of his fortune, forced to take small acting roles just to stay afloat. His story became a cautionary tale in Hollywood, a reminder that no matter how much success one achieves, addiction can take it all away. Yet, even through his struggles, Rooney remained a true entertainer, always ready to put on a show, whether on screen or at the betting window. Tallulah Bankhead, the rebellious and sharp-witted star of Hollywood and Broadway, was as fearless in life as she was on screen. Known for her husky voice, scandalous affairs, and no-holds-barred attitude, Bankhead had another notorious vice: gambling. She thrived on high-stakes bets, whether at the poker table, roulette wheel, or betting on horse races. For her, gambling wasn't just about money. It was about the thrill, the rush, and the defiance of playing by her own rules. Despite her immense talent and wealth, Bankhead had little regard for financial stability. She often lost thousands in a single night, laughing off her losses with the same carefree attitude that made her a Hollywood enigma. She was a regular at underground poker games with fellow celebrities, where she was known for her outrageous bets and witty comebacks, even when the chips were down. Her gambling, combined with her extravagant lifestyle and love for partying, meant that despite earning a fortune, she frequently found herself in financial trouble. Yet, Tallulah Bankhead never expressed regret. To her, life itself was a gamble, and she was always willing to roll the dice, no matter the odds. Dean Martin, the effortlessly smooth crooner and Rat Pack icon, was the definition of cool. Whether on stage, in films, or at the casino tables, he carried himself with an air of relaxed confidence. But behind the charm and easygoing persona, Martin had a deep love for gambling. Unlike his close friend Frank Sinatra, who had a volatile relationship with the tables, Martin approached gambling with a laid-back attitude. Winning or losing, he never seemed to care. Martin was a regular at Las Vegas casinos, where he played blackjack, poker, and craps for hours. His signature drink in one hand and a stack of chips in the other, he rarely showed emotion, even after big wins or devastating losses. He was known to bet large sums, but never let gambling consume him. Some believe his cool demeanor at the tables was just part of the act, while others say he truly saw gambling as just another form of entertainment. Unlike many Golden Era stars who lost everything to their addictions, Martin always kept his finances in check. Whether he walked away with a jackpot or empty pockets, he remained the king of cool, proving that, in gambling and in life, the real secret was never letting them see you sweat. Betty Grable, the golden-haired beauty who became Hollywood's most famous pin-up girl, was a symbol of success, glamour, and financial prosperity. But behind her dazzling smile and box-office success, she had a hidden vice, gambling. Grable had a deep love for betting, particularly at the horse races, where she would spend hours placing high-stakes wagers, often with mixed results. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Grable wasn't reckless with her money, at least not at first. She earned millions during her career, becoming one of the highest-paid actresses of the 1940s. However, her addiction to gambling, particularly betting on horses, started taking a toll on her finances. She and her husband, bandleader Harry James, were both passionate about the racetrack, often spending more than they could afford in pursuit of the next big win. As her career began to decline, her gambling habits became harder to sustain. Though she never lost everything like some of her peers, her addiction certainly drained much of her fortune. Yet, even in later years, she never lost her love for the thrill of the bet. For Betty Grable, the excitement of gambling was just another part of the Hollywood dream. Sometimes you win big, and sometimes you lose it all. Jack Benny, the legendary comedian and radio personality, was known for his tightwad persona, always joking about being cheap and reluctant to spend a dime. However, in real life, Benny had a surprising passion for gambling. Unlike many Golden Era stars who bet recklessly, Benny treated gambling as both a social activity and a personal thrill, often indulging in poker games with his Hollywood friends. Benny wasn't the type to lose fortunes at the casino, but he did love high-stakes poker, especially with fellow celebrities like George Burns and Milton Berle. His sharp wit and deadpan humor made him a favorite at the card table, where he often joked about his so-called bad luck while skillfully bluffing his way through hands. His comedic approach to gambling made it hard to tell whether he was truly losing or just playing up his miserly character. Despite his love for poker, Benny never let gambling get the best of him. He maintained his fortune and remained financially stable throughout his life. For him, the real game was in the entertainment, both at the card table and on the stage. Whether winning or losing, he always had the last laugh. Dorothy Lamour, best known for her exotic beauty and starring roles in the road to comedy films alongside Bing Crosby and Bob Hope, had a glamorous Hollywood career filled with adventure. But off-screen, she had a secret thrill, gambling. While she was never as reckless as some of her Golden Era peers, Lamour loved the excitement of betting, especially at the casinos and racetracks. Her love for gambling began as a casual pastime, but over the years, it became a more serious habit. She was often seen at high-end Las Vegas casinos, where she would play blackjack and roulette for hours. She also enjoyed betting on horse races, always looking for that lucky win. While she never gambled away her entire fortune, there were times when her losses piled up, forcing her to take roles in films and television just to stay financially afloat. Despite her gambling habit, Lamour remained one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses. She managed to balance her love for betting with a disciplined approach to money, ensuring she never completely lost control. In the end, she proved that while the thrill of gambling was tempting, her true legacy was her charm, talent, and unforgettable screen presence. Fred Astaire, the legendary dancer and Hollywood icon, was known for his effortless charm, impeccable footwork, and refined demeanor. But beyond the elegance of his performances, Astaire had a lesser-known passion, gambling. Unlike many of his Golden Era peers who gambled recklessly, Astaire approached betting with the same precision and discipline that made him a star on screen. Astaire had a particular fondness for horse racing, frequently placing bets at racetracks across California. He owned and bred racehorses, often investing large sums into the sport he loved. However, his gambling didn't stop at the racetrack. He also enjoyed playing poker and placing wagers in private Hollywood gambling circles. Despite his love for betting, Astaire never let his habits spiral out of control. He was known for his financial responsibility, ensuring that his losses never outweighed his successes. Unlike many actors who gambled away fortunes, Astaire remained financially stable throughout his life. His ability to control his gambling addiction set him apart from many of his contemporaries. Just as he never missed a step on the dance floor, he never let the thrill of gambling trip him up, proving that, in life and in betting, grace and discipline always win the game. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment. Also consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get notified of our newest videos. Thanks for watching.